So, join me taking a look at these two images. It is the difference between these two stamps. One of them is fake, the other is genuine. It can be really difficult to spot the difference. Have a look. Any thoughts? When you look at them, I'm literally, as you probably are, trying to see any difference whatsoever. On the face of it, you can't see any. So, just for your information, the one on the left, the one nearest me here, is the real one. That is a fake. It really gives you an indication of the problem. Royal Mail introduced barcoded stamps last summer to try and clamp down on these fakes, but say they're still out there, particularly online, where people have been looking for a better deal, despite warnings that not all sold there are genuine. Prices have risen 4 times in the last 2 years. The latest coming at the beginning of this month, where the price of first and second class stamps went up by 10 pence. First class stamp now costs £1.35. Second class stamp, 85p. Royal Mail says it takes the production of fake stamps seriously. A number of them has decreased significantly. Their advice is only to buy them from reputable retailers.
Let's talk to David Gold from Royal Mail. David, good morning to you. OK, so this is an issue. How big an issue is it?
Well, good morning, Naga. It is a big issue, particularly if you have inadvertently been caught out. I do, though, just want to say that the overwhelming majority of stamps that are on sale are genuine. And what we recommend to people is, please only buy from reputable high street stores, from the post office, or if you are going to buy online, buy directly from the Royal Mail shop, because unfortunately there are some unscrupulous people out there. We in the last year have helped with online trading platforms to close down over 300 of these sellers, including many overseas, including in China, who are making a fortune out of trying to sell stamps to people who are, frankly, looking for a bit of a bargain.
David, where are people buying these stamps? Because most people, I'm assuming, would go to a newsagent or their local post office. Where else are these stamps going on sale? What kind of hints and tips can you give?
Well, firstly, a lot of people are buying online. And as Charlie said at the head of the story, people are trying to save money, and I totally understand that. But, if the discount looks too good to be true, it probably is. And that's why we really recommend that, first and foremost, you only buy from your reputable high street stores, or if you're going online, go onto the Royal Mail shop.
Just a thought, sorry, just a brief thought. So can you buy stamps at a discount?
It's not illegal to sell at a discount, but to put it bluntly, Royal Mail sell to reputable dealers at a very minimal discount so that they can make a little bit of a return on them. If people are seeing discounts of 10p, 20p, even 50% off, they really need to be wary. Those are very likely to be fake stamps. The sort of things to look out for, and as Charlie said, it's really difficult to see the difference. The sorts of things to look out for are imperfect perforations around the edge of the stamp, perhaps looking a bit more shiny than usual. But, the reality is most people, they just want to go into a shop, buy some stamps, put them on an envelope and send the birthday card that they were planning to send. They don't want this hassle. So that's why we really are strongly recommending, please, only go to those reputable stores, the ones that you can trust, the ones are going to have the safeguards in place to make sure these are genuine.
David, do you think you'd know the difference?
Honestly, Charlie, I've seen the stamps that you're showing on the screen. I couldn't tell the difference. I know what to look out for. But some of the things that are not obvious are the fact that every barcode is unique. That's why we brought them in. So no two stamps are actually the same. And what this has meant is that when they go through our system, we can immediately identify anything that looks suspect. Now, having said that, we don't just rely on the machine. Once they are identified as potentially suspect, they go through a manual check by a trained human being, and then they are checked with specialist machinery again. So it's a multi-stage process to make sure that they're genuine. And I have to say, we have removed or reduced the number of counterfeit stamps by over 90% since we made the barcodes compulsory. But that still means some are getting through, and that's why we really want your viewers to be careful when they're buying their stamps.
David, there is another issue I'd like to pick up with you, which is a more fundamental issue in a way, is the people who want to send letters and use stamps legitimately, and they look at the cost of a first-class stamp now, £1.35. As I understand it, 4 increases in cost in the space of 2 years. Why so expensive?
Well, first of all, I fully understand why people are feeling the pinch right now. But, Royal Mail's not immune to rising prices, whether that's the cost of fuel or the cost of maintaining a universal service that was designed for a time when we were delivering 20 billion letters a year, now reduced to only 7 billion. So we're running a service that frankly needs updating, and the cost of it is unfortunately rising fast. Now, I would still point out that however much people are, feeling those price rises, we take very seriously the responsibility to make sure that they're affordable. And we still offer far better value than most other European countries, despite having a higher quality of service target than any other country in Europe. So we don't take lightly the need to put up prices, and we certainly don't want people to not be able to send things through the post, which is why we've asked for reform of the universal service as soon as it can be done.
Yeah, and for some people, for example, people relying on letters from the NHS, as just one example of a really important message that has to get through. Telegraph today, Daily Telegraph, featuring a letter from NHS bosses saying cuts to second-class deliveries could affect NHS patients' health because they won't get the right information at the right time. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm pleased to say that I've met the authors of that letter quite recently, and we discussed in detail the challenge that Royal Mail is trying to solve. And of course, we understand the challenge they've got, which is to make sure that any of us who are sick get the care we need as quickly as possible. That's why I'm pleased to say, as they said in their letter, we are working together to try to find a solution that will ensure that going forward, when the universal service is reformed, the NHS will continue to have the option of sending items through the post, both a choice of price and of speed. And the overwhelming number of letters that are sent through the NHS are, I understand it, not sent as we would call it first class. Most of those are actually sent using a slower speed of service. But, we're looking forward to continuing to work with Healthwatch and with the other bodies that represent the NHS to come up with further solutions that will ensure that all of us who rely on the NHS can continue to get speedy communication from them.
David Gold from the Royal Mail, thanks very much for your time with us this morning.
Thank you, Naga.